Today's video is another tier list video. It's about ranking all the cubes that I have, or all the twisty puzzles or things like that I have, by their difficulty in a tier list. So here we have the tiers. At the top we have the easiest tier. It might take a while if you don't know how to solve the puzzle, but eventually you'd be able to get it even if you had no knowledge of what the puzzle is or how to solve it. Then we have the easy category, which is like anything that's relatively easy, like think 2x2 or maybe even Pyraminx or Scube. And then we have average, which is just like 3x3 and things on that kind of level. Above average is anything that's significantly more difficult than a 3x3 or takes longer to solve or anything like that. Now these bottom two tiers are kind of where it gets more subjective. The challenging tier is like I've done it, I can solve it, but it takes a very long time and I might mess up like a couple times. And this one is just, I literally cannot solve it. Like, either I've never solved it without a reference, or I used to be able to a couple times, but now I just, like, don't know how to solve it. It's just like, if you gave it to me scrambled right now, I probably wouldn't be able to. So the first puzzle we have is the 2x2. I think this would go in the easy category. It's significantly easier than a 3x3, so I'd say it's easier than average. Then we have the classic 3x3, which I'm going to put average. It's pretty much the baseline for this category because the 3x3 is like the most common cube, so average difficulty would be like here. And then 4x4, pretty self-explanatory. It goes above average because besides the knowledge you would need to know how to solve a 3x3, like inserting pieces, algorithms, and all that, you also have to know edge pairing, building centers, and even parity. And following that we have 5x5. I'm gonna put it in above average also. It's basically the same as a 4x4, just kind of scaled up a little. Next we have the 6x6, which I might put in either above average or challenging. I think I'm gonna put it in above average. All the n by n's go in above average because once you know how to solve the 4x4 and 5x5, you basically know how to solve a 6x6, a 7x7, even a 9x9 or 13x13 or however high it goes. So the next puzzle is the Pyraminx, which I'm going to put in either easy or very easy, because I feel like given enough time, someone who doesn't know how to solve this puzzle would probably be able to. It might take a while and they might have to like develop a method for it or a way to do it, but I think it's easier than the 2x2. So I'm going to put it in very easy. You could probably solve it intuitively given enough time. The Scube, on the other hand, is very easy, but I feel like you need to know at least a couple algorithms like the sledgehammer to be able to solve it. So I'm going to put it in the easy tier with 2x2. Now the Megaminx is pretty much a 3x3, but you need to know some last layer algorithms. So I'm going to put it in above average alongside 4x4 and 5x5. Obviously the 7x7 takes a lot longer to solve than the Megaminx, but I put them at about the same difficulty level because the 7x7 isn't really that hard, it's just time consuming. Next up we have the Square One, which I'm going to put in the above average tier, not because it's actually like a hard puzzle to solve, but also there are some long algorithms that you need to memorize, like the parity algorithm, which is very long, so that's why I'm putting it in above average tier. Next up we have Clock, which I'm going to put in easy tier actually. Not a lot of people do this event, but there is a very basic beginner's method for it. The 2x2x3, I'm going to put in easy, maybe even very easy. I actually got out my own 2x3 just to do a quick solve, see, because I haven't done this in a while, so I'm going to see if it's that easy. Okay, yeah, you need to know how to like swap two pieces. So it's not going in very easy, it's just easy. The 3x3x1 floppy cube, which I'm going to put in very easy tier. There aren't any algorithms as far as I know. I think you can just like solve it. I made a tutorial for it. Like someone completely unfamiliar with this could be handed it and probably know how to solve it. This is the 3x3x2, which I'm going to put in average tier. It's easier than the 3x3, but not by much actually. There are a few algorithms, and it is definitely harder than puzzles like the 2x2 and the Scube. The 3x3x4 on the other hand, I'm going to put in either above average or even challenging because there's a parity algorithm here, that I don't know or I just haven't memorized yet. The 3x3x5, counterintuitively, you'd think it goes in challenging, but actually I'm not quite sure if it has the parity algorithm. I'll put it up on screen if it does or not. So I'm gonna put it in above average. There is the challenge of it shape-shifting, but that's pretty easy once like you know how to do it. Moving on from the cuboids, the Scube Extreme is like a more advanced version of the Scube. So I'm gonna put it at average tier. It has the solving experience of the Scube, just with center orientation. Now onto the 3x3 mods, such as the Super Cube or the Picture Cube. I just chose the picture of this Christmas cube because by the time I put this video out, it's gonna be around the holiday time. But I'm gonna put this average tier. It's basically the same as the 3x3, just center orientation. The Void Cube is, again, just like the 3x3, but with some weird extra cases because of the fact that there are no centers. So I'm gonna put it in above average tier. Here we have all the 3x3 shape mods. I just put them together in one category because they're all relatively average, just like the 3x3, but different in some way. Whether that's you don't need to worry about edge orientation or you do need to worry about center orientation. Just generally, these are just as easy as the 3x3, maybe a tiny bit harder. The Fused Cube and the Siamese Cube, they're basically at around the same difficulty level. Again, they're pretty much average, maybe even above average for the Siamese Cube. But I think as a whole, yeah, they're above average. Maybe not as hard as the 5x5 or Mega Minx, but you are limited in moves. Like for this one, you can only do RU and F moves, which does make the solve a little more limiting. This is the Cubix Tube. It's basically a 3x3 where it's a tube and you need to pass a marble through it all the way and get it out the other side. And this is actually challenging tier because I can do it with enough time, but it's actually deceptively hard. Like every time I've solved this, it's taken a lot longer than I expected. Same with the Professor Pyraminx. It goes in challenging because I can do it, but it's usually a tough solving process that takes around 10 minutes to do. On the other end of the spectrum, the Ivy Cube is probably in the very easy category. If you have like basic knowledge of twisty puzzles like the Scube, you should be able to solve this like very easily. Same with the Dino Cube. I put it in either very easy or just easy. I think I'm gonna put it in easy. The Ready Cube is basically a Dino Cube with corners, so this goes in easy tier also. Pyraminx, I'm gonna put it in average tier. It's like an easier version of the Mega Minx, and the larger version of the Mega Minx, the Giga Minx, would go in challenging tier. Not because it's actually like a tough solve, but there's just so many pieces on the cube that you have to spend a long time looking around for the specific piece you need to go in a certain place. Onto the Morphix puzzles. The Pyramorphix is easy tier. It's a 2x2, pretty much. Probably easier than a 2x2. The Megamorphix, average, or actually it'll be above average, because it's probably the hardest of the 3x3 shape mods. The Megamorphix, this is the first one to go in. I literally cannot solve it tier. I put up a live stream a while ago of me trying to solve this, and I just couldn't, and I don't think I can solve it at all without getting lucky or learning a parity algorithm. The 2x2 mirror blocks, they go in easy tier. It's basically a 2x2. The gear shift, again, this is, I literally cannot solve it tier. Like, I'm capable of solving it, but also there's a step at the end that I don't remember how to do without looking at a tutorial, just because I haven't solved it in a while. I rarely solve it. The gear cube, on the other hand, is actually easy, bordering on very easy, but I think I'm just gonna leave it at easy for now, since there are a couple like algorithm type things you need to do. It's one of the easiest of the easy tier puzzles. The octahedron, I'm gonna put it between challenging and I literally cannot solve it. I learned how to solve it from memory for my video where I solved all of my cubes in a row in one day, but I don't think I remember most of the steps, and it's just so different from all the other cubes. Like, it's not really a variation of any other cube here, so I'm gonna put it in I literally cannot solve it because I'm not sure if I can. I haven't solved it recently. And same with the last one, the puzzle ball. I don't even know if you'd consider this a twisty puzzle, but I don't think I'd be able to solve it either without looking at a tutorial. Like, obviously for the video where I solved all my cubes, I looked at a tutorial and relearned how to do it the day before, but I don't think I remember a lot of the algorithms. So this is the final tier list. I'm gonna see if I want to go back and make any changes. I don't think so. Yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with this. So this is my puzzle difficulty tier list of all the types of puzzles that I own. So what are your thoughts on these rankings, and do you have any cubes that I missed, and where would you put them? Leave that in the comments below. Also, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more cubing content like this, and I'll see you in my next video.